Okay, today is September 22, 2022. This is the meeting of the Kubernetes Storage Special Interest Group. As a reminder, this meeting is public, recorded, and posted on YouTube. So if you have anything that you want to discuss today, feel free to add it to the agenda. You can find the link in your meeting invite. So I'm going to go over the 126 features today, and then we can switch over to any miscellaneous topics that folks have for discussion. For 126, there's one change in planning. Specifically, instead of using a spreadsheet for tracking which features are going to go into 126, the release team is instead using labels in GitHub. More specifically, if you have a KEP that is going to be part of 126, please make sure that it has all the appropriate labels, especially the stage, SIG, etc. And then make sure that one of the SIG leads, myself, Xing, assign the lead opted in to the associated enhancement issue, the lead opted in label on the enhancement issue. And this will ensure that the KEP is properly tracked by the release team. So please do this if you have any feature that's going into 126 that has an enhancement issue or a KEP. So with that, we'll go ahead and switch over to the spreadsheet and get status updates. So first up, we have delegate FS group to CSI driver instead of kubelet. Is Fabio on the line for an update?
Yep. So we still want to target this for 126.
And any progress on this?
No, I haven't started yet.
Okay. No problem. Sounds good. Thanks, Fabio. Next up, we have recovering from resize failure end-to-end tests. Hemant, are you on the line?
I am here. So yeah, I still haven't finished writing my end-to-end test, so I need to do that and then update the KEP. So I'll work on it, but I want to target 126 for this release.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we have issues related to assuming volumes or mount points. Jing? Okay, I'm gonna mark that as no update. Let's move on to CSI ephemeral volumes, wrap up conformance test work. Jonathan, are you on the line? Okay, I'll mark that one as no update. Then we have local ephemeral storage management. I'm going to assume this one is no update either, unless someone else is able to provide an update here.
So the blog is already published, so I think this one should be marked as complete now.
Got it. Yes, I do remember seeing the blog. Cool, thank you, Shing. Next item is volume group API.
Right, so there is a CSS back PR that is being reviewed. Saad, if you can help review that.
Yep, I saw the email. I'll take a look.
Okay, thank you. And the CAP also is updated. So Michelle has reviewed it and added comments, addressed that. So it's ready for review again.
Cool, thank you, Shing. Yeah, this is a big new feature. So if anybody on the line is interested in volume groups, this is a good KEP to help review. Next up is PVC volume snapshot namespace transfer. Masaki or Mustafa on the line?
So I think right now it's a different person, Takafumi. I don't know if it's he or she is working on this. I just got a pin saying that he or she couldn't attend the meeting, but will there's a Slack thread.
Got it.
With
Thanks,
it
Shing.
on there.
Can you throw in
The name, yeah. Can you check the dev lead, see if the dev
Yeah.
lead has a third name? The
doesn't
yeah,
look
this
like
one. Did
it.
I add that? No, not okay, not yet. Okay, let me add that. Okay,
Cool. Thank you.
no problem.
Okay, next up is provisioning volumes from cross namespace snapshot PVC. I guess this one's also on the same group of people. Oh, we can copy this.
Oh,
over.
I think we are okay. So can you go? Sorry, can you go back to the latter one? I think we are on the tracking one. Okay, I think it's the second one, the provision. So sorry, not the first one. Maybe we can just cross that out.
Got it. Okay, so move that here. Okay. Okay. Then let's keep moving. Next is CSI volume health additional metrics and or events and then add end-to-end tests.
That's still work in progress.
Volume populator data source, add metrics, support and testing.
So we don't have an owner for this one now.
Got it.
Yeah, need a new owner.
Anyone on the call interested in helping with this? Okay, I'm gonna cross it out for this cycle. And then we'll see if we can find a new owner for this. All right, next up is Cozy. Staying in alpha this cycle. Any new updates here?
It's just to continue trying to get more vendors to write drivers for Cozy and documentation and bug fixes and all that.
Cool, thank you, Shing. Next up is change block tracking. Looks like last status was kept updated. Anything new here?
Yeah, and there's also a CSI spec PR out for review. And cap is updated, waiting to be reviewed.
Cool. Yeah, this is another fairly large change. So if folks are interested in the call, it's a good cap to help review. Next is new RWO access mode, moving that to beta. I believe Chris committed to working on this for this cycle. Chris, are you on the line?
I saw a cap update for this, I believe.
Got it. Thanks, John. Next is runtime assisted mounting, issue 2857, deep.
Yeah, the cap updates are still in progress, mainly the generic runtime communication aspect.
Got it. Thanks, Deep. Then we've got CSI proxy for Windows, transition to privileged containers. No need for cap. I guess this is bug level or design level work. Anything new here?
I think Mauricio said he is working on a cap, so we can go through an official review.
Got it.
Oh, he also said that he said we do not need a cap. I thought that's what he said last time in one of the CSI implementation meetings.
I think technically, since this is out of tree, it doesn't need a kep, but I think it's a good idea to have a kep because our Windows CSI design is also in the format of a kep. And so I think it just makes sense because it's like this is kind of superseding parts of that. I don't think we need to like track it as part of like a release cycle.
Okay, so it's like
Right,
auto
there.
tree. Can we just say tracked auto tree this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll mark this as kep needed. Okay, thank you for the update. Next is CSI proxy performance issues. I think we were, let's see, last status was need help from Windows expert. We'll add the issue not blocked on CSI migration. Anything new on this one? Is Mauricio the owner of this as well?
I don't know if there's an owner for this one yet. It's just an issue that we need to be aware because we have been talking about this issue when we talk about Vsphere Csi Migration because Windows is not GA. This is one of the biggest issue, the performance issue.
Do we have an owner in mind? Anybody on the call interested in helping with this one?
I thought there were some people who were interested in helping out, but then I don't know where that goes. Maybe Mauricio, but Deep, do you remember there was at one time, there were some people who are interested in.
Yeah, like the last conversation I had around this with Divian was that he was exploring trying to spin up CSI proxy within a daemon set because like privilege support is enabled in Windows now. And basically his thought was like, if it's within a pod, then its resource requirements can be configured. So it does not, end up taking a lot of memory and CPU, which was at least like one of the perf issues when trying to stress it quite hard. But then I didn't hear any updates on where that went. Like whether that approach was tried for Vsphere to see if that makes a difference.
I think we tried something, but I don't know if, I don't know if we're going to continue with that path because I thought like on Azure, they actually made some changes in their driver to leverage the privileged container. But I don't know if that actually solved this issue or not. That problem is still not quite clear.
Yeah, like there were two problems. One was like the memory and the CPU was quite high, and that can potentially be solved by putting it within a pod, right? And I think the Azure guys tried out the privileged daemon set approach of launching CSI proxy, and that works for them.
Okay.
But whether this approach still satisfies the benchmark that's there for Vsphere, like that's still an open question. I think that needs to be measured.
Okay, so I'm going to leave this as issue needs an owner for now. Or do we want to put Divian as the owner?
In Debian, I think he would, I think from our side, I just chatted with him. Basically, he was saying from our side, we are going to not going to see this performance issue as a blocking issue for Windows to go GA anymore. We'll
Got it.
just document whatever we have tested it. So if it works with a certain scalability, we'll just document that. Yeah, there are other issues that like there was a resize related bug that we need to fix.
Should we leave this open for now then until we can find an owner?
Sure.
Okay. So let's leave this open for a bit and see if we can find an owner. If anybody on the call is interested, this might be a fun debugging problem. And if we can't find an owner, we'll close it for this cycle and then see if we could pick up an owner for next cycle. Next up is node expansion secret. Unclear if Humble wants to move this to beta. Anybody know?
Oh yeah, I asked him, he get back, he said yes. He has a cap out, I have been reviewing.
Nice. Cool. Thank you, Xing. Next is SE Linux relabeling using mount options, end-to-end tests, volume reconstruction.
Yeah, I am going to update the cap shortly and keep it in alpha in this release.
Okay. Thanks, John. Next, we have CSI migration. So CSI migration core. Matt, do you know if there's anything on the core that needs to be updated or?
I don't think so. I mean, I think. Sorry, I'm trying to think of. I don't think there was any. I thought the open bugs were closed. I don't know whether. I think we're deciding whether there like needs to be a blog post or announcement or that kind of thing.
There is a blog post PR that is open, I think.
Okay,
It's
so
already merged actually. So it's the publish date is the 26th.
Okay. So it sounds like that's pretty much the only outstanding work for the core. I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah, I think market is done.
Nice.
yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you for the update on that, folks. Next is CSI migration for Vsphere. Anything new here?
I think we just talked about that earlier. So the thing that is, I think there's some concern regarding Windows support, right? Because that's not GA yet. So performance, we don't treat that as a blocking anymore, but there is a CSI resize related bug. So still trying to get that one fixed.
But the Windows, the CSI driver, sorry, Vsphere driver never supported resize the entry one.
Yeah. So that's not right. Yeah. So it's right. But that is the problem is that this is a combination of Windows and CSI resize, right? So if we claim Windows support, then we have to say Windows also support all the other features that is already GA in the CSI driver. So that's what we are trying to fix that one right now.
So we can't say Windows support GA without fixing resizing. Is that?
We can, right? Because that's and there is a but yeah, I think Debian actually submitted a bug fix in the CSI proxy repo, but I think that one is not merged yet. So I think there's still some.
Yeah, me and Jing reviewed that PR. I think it had some issues of the resizing in Windows, right? So
okay. So yeah, so I think Debian was saying like we're just looking at how to make a fix inside our driver. Basically, I think he's exploring. So still, once we get that fixed, I think then this Windows feature should be ready for GA.
I mean, do we should we follow up offline on this resizing fix? Like, is it that is it a driver specific issue or is it a generic issue?
I think Debian is trying to fix that in a generic way, but I think there are some concerns. So Hemant, you review that.
I think the deep link that PR to on chat. Okay, we can follow up this offline. I personally don't see why the Windows GA support should be blocking on this thing, but we can talk about this offline.
Okay. Thank you for the discussion on that. CSI migration for Azure. Any updates on that? Do we have Andy on the line by any chance?
There is a PR cap update, PR out.
Nice. And target is going to be
Oh, sorry. Which one are we talking about? The Azure
This one
disk or
is-
Azure file? Sorry.
remove entry Azure disk.
Oh, no, not this one. Okay, sorry then. I was thinking about the next one. Next one is a cap. This
Got it.
one is basically just it is remove code, right? Okay, so we need to
Yeah.
ping Andy about that.
Okay. And okay, cool. Thank you for the update on the next one. So this one is KEP is out. I'm going to mark that as started. And then Ceph RBD. I haven't seen any updates from Humble.
Oh, he did get back. He said, yeah, he's targeting that. So actually the cap is already merged. So he updated the cap because the cap was previously merged in 1.25. So it's basically just a minor update. It's just an update the milestone.
Nice.
So both RBD and the CFFS, the caps merged.
Okay. All right, next up is Portworx.
Yeah, so Oksana says that they will need to do some more testing. So they will, so not going to move it to the next stage. So staying at off by default beta.
Do we still need to track this here? Or,
Probably not, yeah, not in 1.26.
go ahead and remove that. Okay, next is remove entry Gluster. I think I saw.
That's already,
Yep.
that's already removed. The PR is already merged.
Is there anything else we need to do here? Any messaging?
Do we need to send another message?
I guess
maybe
it'll
I
be
need to
part of
check.
the release notes.
Is that, yeah, okay, so I will just double check the PR and make sure that there's a release notes there.
Perfect. Okay. Next up is always honor reclaim policy end-to-end tests.
Right, so Deepak is working on that. There is also some code update actually to support the statically provisioned volumes, plus the E2 test. It's a work in progress.
Okay. Next up is control volume mode conversion between source and target PVC end-to-end tests.
Yeah, Ronak is still working on the E2 tests.
Okay. Then we've got secret protection, prevention, deletion while in use. This is dependent on the in-use protection kept below. So both of these are tightly related. We're waiting for confirmation from Misaki. Have we heard back?
No, I have not heard anything from him. I don't know if he's still working on Kubernetes. There's no No response. Maybe we can just cross out this 2 for 1.26.
So the next set are co-owned with other SIGs. First up, we have SIG auth, user ID ownership in config maps and secrets, preserve default file mode bit, set in atomic writer volumes. Anything new here?
I
Looks
think we
like
need an owner for this, right?
Yeah. Anyone interested in helping with this? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cross it out for this cycle and we can see if we can pick it up hopefully in the next cycle. Next up, we have with SIG node, non-graceful node shutdown. The target is beta for 126. Anything new here?
Yeah, so the test merged, but we still need to add that to the test grid. So right now, there is a PR for that is being reviewed.
Cool, thank you, Shing. Next up is enable user namespace in kubelet so UIDs get shifted, rootless mode. Anything new here? Hamad, do you have any updates on this one?
No, no update today.
Then let's keep moving. We've got address issues. PVC created by stateful set will not be auto removed. Last status here was will target beta need to resolve issue on metrics. Anything new here, Matt?
Yeah, so this has been added into the tracking sheet under SIG app. Sorry, not tracking sheet, tracking label. And the metrics stuff we have figured out. In case people are interested, cube state metrics is sort of gaining more traction and is useful for stuff. So I got the PRR approved based on that. So hopefully we're still on track going to beta.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you, Matt. Next is volume expansion for stateful sets.
No update today.
Okay. And finally, we have better default storage class. Jan?
E2E test was merged, and cap upgrade will follow shortly to graduate it to beta.
Awesome. Thank you, Jan. And thanks everyone for the updates. With that, we'll switch back to the agenda doc. And looks like there are no PRs or designs that need review, but we do have a topic from Matt on revisiting ephemeral CSI disk usage. Matt, you want to give background on this one?
Yeah, sure. So just the context here is just kind of asking for advice before we sort of throw out a design proposal. The context here is we are developing a ephemeral CSI driver that's going to use non-trivial resources on the local disk. And so ideally this usage would be accounted for with the pod that is creating the volume. I understand that kind of conceptually the ephemeral CSI volumes are for like very small things like secrets and stuff. So the issue of ephemeral usage did not come up. We are kind of exploring a few ways of like where the right place in the kubelet pod directory to like put our local storage is going to be. But if anyone had any context or advice or thoughts or yeah, on around this issue, we'd appreciate hearing that before we get too far down a bad path.
Yeah, I guess my general thought is like I think just because we didn't include it as part of the ephemeral CSI feature doesn't mean we can't add it. Because at the time we didn't have a use case, but it sounds like, you know, now there are some valid use cases, right? So I think we should explore that option and see how we can maybe somehow like get the CSI driver to like report that, hey, I am using local storage, so please, you know, count my usage as part of the local ephemeral storage.
How
Yeah,
about
and
the, I was just wondering, how
I'm
about
sorry, go on.
the generic ephemeral volume? Does that work at all for this feature?
That doesn't help
Oh,
because I think the main thing is because we have we have two features, right? We have local
Mhm.
ephemeral
Right.
storage tracking, and then we have like we have CSI ephemeral and we have generic ephemeral.
Mhm.
And the main problem right now is the local ephemeral storage tracking. It specifically only looks at empty dir volumes, right? It doesn't look at other volume types. And so I
Okay.
think the question here is now we're saying, well, actually, there are some CSI drivers that will heavily use local storage. And so we want some way to like detect that and to kind of have our existing local ephemeral storage tracking track those CSI volume types too.
So basically, like evict the pods and such, like what local ephemeral feature does, or just reporting of numbers.
Yeah, it's multiple. It's like everything, right? One is like evicting when they exceed what they requested, and the other thing is being able to support the requests, the pod requests.
Yeah, because like in particular, like if the amount of usage here is like getting comparable to the amount of ephemeral allocatable you have on the node, you want to take that into account in scheduling decisions so that you don't over commit a node.
Yeah, I think right now what would basically happen without this is that ephemeral, the local storage usage would count as system resources, and I'm not quite clear what happens on kubelet when system resources greatly exceed what we reserved for them. I don't know if that just causes kubelet to just start evicting like all of the pods.
Okay, cool. Well, in any case here, we will work on a design here. It doesn't sound like there's something super obvious we are missing. Please reach out to me on Slack or etc. You know, if any other ideas come up around this.
Yeah, thank you for the discussion on that, Matt. And it sounds like we just need to make sure the local ephemeral storage usage tracking feature, which just went GA, is extended to support CSI. So that seems like a good natural extension. Anyone else have comments on this or any other topic that they want to bring up today? Going once, going twice. Okay, we'll give you 20 minutes back in your day today. Thanks, folks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.